Never, never, never die. 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 Never die.
All right, this is the Angry Dad. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. And before we get into today's podcast, I'd like to thank podcast sponsors, Everyday Fit Life. If you're looking for a nutritional program, something that's going to guide you, set you up, show you step by step how to eat, the times to eat, what to drink, the food, the seasonings, like all we need is a reference point on where to go with this. And Everyday Fit Life offers that. You can get 30 days, 60 days, 90 days worth of help. Choose how much help you want. And the help is there to guide you. It's something that you don't have to live strictly by, but it's something that you can just step by step learn how to eat, learn the pattern, learn what's going to help set you up for life to lose weight and feel great. And if you want to lose weight and tone up, guess what? A lean body, and then they have a strong body where you can strip fat and put on muscle. There's two paths to take, and it's slight tweaks that you just might not know what to do with or how to do it. But guess what? The programs teach you how. Each one of them comes with a workout program, and you can get 20% off with code AngryDad at checkout at Everyday Fit Life. Use the link in the notes. It really helps me out. Max Performance for You. Max Performance for You. MaxPerformanceForYou.com for your peptide needs. I'm talking about BP 157, TB 500, recovery, injuries, we have these, as we get older, it's hard to just deal with all this bullshit. And sometimes fucking medical systems don't set you up for anything but failure. And you know what? BPC 157, TB 500, it seems to be something that just helps all the way around, and you get hooked up at Max Performance for You. Use code AngryDad checkout for 10% off. That is code AngryDad at checkout for Max Performance for You for 10% off. That's MaxPerformanceForYou.com. Make sure you check it out for your peptide needs. Let's get into today's show. All right. Look, it wasn't that long ago. All my kids are older now. You know what I'm saying? They went through my divorce. They went through custody with me, and it wasn't easy. All right. A lot of ups and downs and a lot of crazy things. The new lives, new things had to be learned, new emotions, new feelings. Being a single father, is extremely hard, especially because you're working, you're trying to take care of school, you're trying to find time. There's a lot of things that goes on. You know what I'm saying? And I was going through a lot of emotions at that time, a lot of feelings, and a lot of things I just didn't know how to cope with. And there's a lot of dads out there that have to deal with that too. You know what I'm saying? This is something that all of us go through that are going through that situation of divorce and child custody. And, it's not set up for success for men. It's a one-sided thing. Everyone will tell you, oh, it's supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be even. It's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's especially because the way I look. I'm covered in tattoos. I'm tall. I'm fucking, I know what I look like. All right. I don't fucking, pretend that, what I look like doesn't have an impact. It does. All right. And like I said, it just is what it is. I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I grew up in the situations that I grew up in, and you're just a product of your environment. But at the same time, it really makes you feel, unworthy and even unworthy, not valuable. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they treat you in these court systems, and especially in child custody. Because look, I'm not even worried about the divorce part. The divorce part comes last after custody. That's just typically how that fucking works. Once custody is figured out and, child support and visitations and all that stuff is figured out, then the divorce part comes. It's always the child first and then the divorce. That's usually the sequence. At least in California, that's just how I know it works, because that's where I'm from. And that's where my experiences come from. Is like I said, I've lived in the Bay Area my whole life, and I've gone through this. All right. I had to prove that I'm a good father. I had to prove that I'm a good person. I had to prove every single time. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll walk you through the process. Like when the divorce first started happening, I'm a drug dealer. I'm a fucking addict. I'm an alcoholic. And I was none of those things. But because they said it, makes it true. And because of how I look, guess what? It's how it's perceived. So I had to prove that I wasn't those things by going through the process. You imagine having your kids 1.5 days every other week. You know what I'm saying? How fucking that much shitty that feels, and then the emotions I'm going through and the feelings I'm going through because I'm just completely separated. You know what I'm saying? When this shit happened, you're just cut off from your world. You know, you might have a support team, you might have like all these people and things around you, but what's most important to you was your family is completely cut off. So you're lost, you're drowning, you're fucking, reaching for air, but you can't reach the air because your family is gone. The things that were the most important to you, the high value things that you cared for in your life is gone. People don't think about that. They're like, oh, we're men, we're tough. It's fucking, we put on this facade, but we have to put on that facade because guess the fuck what? We have to fake it till we make it because we're physically and emotionally hurting. That's just what it is. It is something that needs to be talked upon, you know what I'm saying? Because it's uncomfortable for men to fucking express what really going on because we have to hold a certain amount of fucking weight on our shoulders every fucking day just to fucking keep our family straight. I'm talking about our kids. We crack, they crack. We stress out, they're stressed out. It's a product of what the fuck's going on. You know what I'm saying? And the emotional and physical and the mental trauma that they're going through as all this fucking happens, it's fucking there. It never goes the fuck away. You know, they're watching it from the outside, and if we're falling apart, if our life's falling apart, guess the fuck what? They're watching that the entire time. And like I said, my life fell apart. Everything that I know and everything that I held dear to my fucking heart, everything that was important to me was gone. All right. And I'm just fucking struggling, because now I have to support two families. I have to support me and the kids, and I also have to support them and the kids. And so, assets are divided, things are stressed out, and it's like, how do you survive? How do you make it? Nobody gives a fuck about a man when they're going through that. It's only focused on the woman. It's only focused on the wife. It's only focused on the mother. You know what I'm saying? I understand situation by situation is different. In my situation, it was completely different, than anybody else's, because guess what? It's me. It's my family. It's my kids. I hold it individual to me because that was the most important thing to me in my life. You know what I'm saying? I had a way where I'm like, I work, I pay the bills, I take care of everything, but guess what? I'm also working 12 hours a day. I was putting in all the fucking hours, and then I'm expect to hold it to fucking together as, kids and the ex-wife at home. You know, that's just what that is. That this is emotional experience that I had to go through because it's like, oh no, now I'm the mom and now I'm the dad. When my kids are with me, they're with me, and I have to play both fucking roles. And like I said, I went from and this was in the years, all right, where a day and a half every other week, 2 days a week. You know what I'm saying? I just kept going back to court because I just had to keep proving that I'm not this piece of shit that people are saying that I am. You know what I'm saying? I constantly had to show, I constantly had to prove that I'm there. I'm consistent. I had to prove that I can take care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? That's the most craziest fucking thing. As a parent, as an adult, guess the fuck what? This is what this is what I can do. I'm not a fucking idiot. Because that's how they treat men when it comes to that. Well, he can't take care of the kids. The reason I can't take care of the kids and the reason I can't fucking be there is because it's them. It's the court system. It's the way they're portraying it. I'm not an adult. I know how to clock in, clock out. I know how to go to work. I know how to change a diaper. I know how to make some fucking food. I know how to pick up and drop off the fucking kids. I know how to do it all. But yet they're trying to portray us as this fucking bumbling fucking idiot that can't do shit. That's not how that fucking works. All right. I constantly had to prove that I can manage, that I can handle, that I'm capable of being a fucking parent. And every time I had to do the song and fucking dance and prove myself and show and be present and all that stuff. And even too, at that point, I was like, I could do that and manage a job. All right. I was stretched completely fucking thin. But when I had custody of my kids, and because I've had custody for them for so fucking long, they're all adults now. But I managed, I took care of, I had my support systems there. I had my family there helping me. But at the same fucking time, yet I still did it, right? Yet I was still there, you know? Like I said, you have to play this song and dance game and prove that you're a fucking manageable fucking person. The only thing I ever wanted when this all, and I would say it over and over, I want 50-50. I want my kids, my amount of time. I want my kids to be there. I want to be there for them. This is all I wanted. I'm not asking for full fucking custody. I always asked for 50-50. And guess what? I always paid my child support on time. I always did what I was supposed to do. I always did what was what I was told. And in a certain point in this whole fucking thing, it just got to the point where I only do what's on record because guess what? That is all that's required of me. Because when I have my kids, I take care of my kids. When you have the kids, you take care of the kids. It's as simple as that. I always try to be as amicable as possible because as soon as I rock the boat, I'm the fucking bad guy. As soon as I try to speak up for myself, I'm the fucking bad guy. All I want is what's fair, and I'm the fucking bad guy. That's how they treat people. That's how they treat fathers. That's how they treat this system. But at the same fucking time, you have to just constantly prove who the fuck you are. That's all I ever did. Look, I'm here. I'm standing here. I'm not asking for anything but more time with my kids. My time with my kids. And I proved it and I got it. And, eventually I got custody of my kids. They lived with me. I took care of them. I was full-time dad, full-time fucking parent, full-time fucking mom. You know what I'm saying? Washing clothes, cooking, working, fucking back and forth, fucking. You know what I'm saying? There's you know what it is to be a fucking parent. And I did it for a good portion of my fucking life. But yet I always had to prove that I could. I had to prove that I wasn't some fucking stupid idiot TV dad who fucking trips and bumbles and fucking shit falls apart. It's like, no, I know how to make a fucking doctor's appointment. I had to take my kids to the appointments. I had to make sure my kids go to school, that they're dressed, clean, showered, ready, fed, prepared. It's just one of those fucking things. It's like, dads aren't looked favored upon ever. We're the fucking bad guys. We're the fucking people that fucking hate. It's so fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Especially like I said, when a father's the one who's the main provider and is working, and then when shit hits the fucking fan, they're a worthless piece of shit, and all they ever do is work. Well, that was the agreement when we started. That was the agreement what was going on, right? There's everyone always says 50-50, but it's not 50-50. I always gave 100% of what I wanted, what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, and what the fuck was going on. All right. If I'm working 12, 14 hours a day, there's a certain amount you can expect and a certain amount you can't expect because someone's exhausted and tired, especially when they have a blue collar fucking job, but especially when they're out there busting their fucking up, especially when they're out there fucking working their fucking ass off. And no one respects that because it's expected from us. It's expected for us to be like this, do this, and just fucking bend over backwards. But yet we're the fucking bad guy. Like I said, there's good men out there. There's good fathers out there. There's good fucking people out there taking care of their fucking shit, yet still having to fucking jump through hoops and prove that they're fucking worth it. And that's what I want to say. That's the one thing I wish I would have learned earlier on with my feelings and emotions is to understand that, hey, my situation wasn't my fault. My situation, guess what? You know what I'm saying? I was worth it. I am worth it. I am valuable. I'm an important fucking person. And I fucking proved it every fucking day because I worked my fucking ass off for it. You know, the value of men is always diminished because we can be tossed aside and treated a certain way, talked a certain way, and fucking, you know, and just disregarded in the fucking world because, oh, we're a piece of shit fucking man. But that's not the fucking truth. A solid father and a solid husband is the foundation of a fucking family because it's structured that way. All right. And when you fucking devalue and when you fucking degrade that fucking solid foundation and you don't value it, it crumbles. It can't support, it can't be there because it's got so much more stress and fucking pressure put on it that it crushes. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't fucking get it. A lot of people don't understand it. But it's the one thing that I wish I would have learned earlier in my life that no, I am a good person. I'm a valuable person, and I'm worth it. Everything I do is worth it. You know, because that's one of those emotions and one of those feelings where I just always like I'm not worth anything. I was disregarded from the most important thing in my life at that moment in time. But guess the fuck what? That wasn't the fucking truth. All right. The person didn't see my value. That person didn't see my worth. Doesn't mean I wasn't worth it or valuable in that fucking aspect. Because guess the fuck what? I live a great fucking life now. My life is exactly what I always pictured it to be. All right. I had to go through all the struggles. I had to go through all the bullshit. I had to go through all the ups and downs to have this feeling of accomplishment that I was always looking for. Because it took me a long fucking time to learn it, to understand it, to fucking get it. Right? To really see it. Because that's the most craziest part. Sometimes it just takes a long time to see it. You know, I want people to fucking hear this and understand this. Is like, look, I'm just ranting on because, like I said, I had a wave of emotions, a wave of feelings that I'm just like, oh, what I did was right. Standing up for myself was right. Learning my value was right. You know, like I said, that I've had my bullshit, I've had my ups and downs. I've never fucking been perfect, but at the same fucking time, what I valued and what I wanted most in life was the most important things to me. And when I lost them, I was drowning, I was suffocating, I was fucking dealing with emotions and feelings that, hey, never learned how to deal with, never learned to fucking, you know, to cope with. And then I grew up, learned how to cope with it, learned how to deal with it, learned how to use those feelings and emotions and how to express them. And because I did that, my emotional maturity, my mental maturity, my fucking physical maturity fucking helped me learn what I wanted in my life truly and how to recognize it and respect it and be blessed with it. Cuz that's life. That's what happens when you grow. You know, I could have absolutely just lived in that misery and let it really consume me and drown me and take me down and ruin my fucking life, which it does for a lot of fucking people. But, you know, I fucking worked my ass off to fucking have my kids, to be with my kids, to take care of my kids, and to have what I've always wanted. A fucking family that loves me and takes care of me and that is there for me. Because I do the exact same thing for them. It's unconditional. You know what I'm saying? I will always be there for my kids. I will always take care of my kids. And I'll always be there for my wife. I'm married. I'm happy. And it's because I fucking had to go through all this fucking bullshit to really fucking understand what the fuck that is. You know what I'm saying? And understand my value. Understand that I'm worth it. To understand that it's okay to be a fucking man. You know? Like I said, I don't know if any of this makes fucking sense, but like I said, it's just some feelings and emotions that I fucking was just kind of passing through my brain. And I was like, let me just fucking get this the fuck out. So Guess the fuck what? This is the Angry Motherfucking Dad. You want to watch my shit? YouTube. You want us to Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Deezer, iHeartRadio. This motherfucker's everywhere. You can easily fucking find it. Rate, review, like, subscribe, all that fucking bullshit. It really helps me to fuck out. I'm also part of the Inner Circle Podcast Network, group of powerful podcasters out there sharing their shit. That is innercirclepn.com. We'll take you to everyone's websites, everyone our shows, so make sure you check it the fuck out, because we have shows as The Plunge, Failing Hollywood, Simmons and More, The Untrained Eye, The Hood Diner. Shit happens when you party naked, so make sure you check it the fuck out. And I'll see y'all motherfuckers on the next one. Fuck.
Always living, always living, always living, always living, always living, always living.